Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahman, Tatsai Shri Guru Vema. Despite being raised a proper Hindu, a proper Sanatani in my life, there was one book that truly got me into spirituality, that truly got me to believe that there is something more than what we are being told. There is something more than the cyclical nature of our society, than the cyclical nature of our own mind, and gives us answers impeccably. The book I'm talking about is The Law of One. This is a book that was written, or even so, recorded, translated in the late 70s and early 80s. What this book, in essence, is information that has been given by an extraterrestrial being through a human, through a concept, through a process called channeling, wherein a human being, mind, body, and soul, acts as a receiver, acts as a sort of telephone for a different kind of voice, for a voice from a higher dimension. And what this book did was channel this being through a woman and give us information, extraterrestrial information about us, about God, about reality, about Bigfoot, and about so many things. This book is a PhD level dissertation on metaphysics and reality. Basically, existentialism, true existentialism. Now, this book was transcribed and the process was initiated by scientists themselves, by physicists. So, people of science, people of reason, people of logic delved into a process of almost 19 years to meditate together. And through that process, through that effort, finally came fruit beyond our dreams. The information that was passed down through this channel is so beyond imagination. It is so beyond what we believe about our reality on earth that I cannot help but talk about it. Through the title itself, the being, the extraterrestrial, extra dimensional, cosmic being that was channeled through this woman talked about the unity of all things, the law of one beyond all paradoxes, beyond all polarity, beyond all division, beyond all fragmentation. Everything is one being. There is nothing but that being. There is nothing but that oneness. There is nothing but that love. And this extraterrestrial being talked about reality, talked about the human nature, talked about our history, where we come from, talked about the civilizations that exist in our reality, in our solar system. The information is so mind boggling that you have to truly read it to believe it. This video will not be enough to convince you what this being is talking about. But every sentence, every wisp of information that comes through this channel is beyond our puny imagination. The law of one talks about that time as we know it does not exist. Humanity is on a level that is somewhere between two worlds. The lower worlds, the lower chakras, that represent our animalistic nature, and the higher realms, the more angelic, the more inquisitive, the more pure realms that lead us towards the next journey. The being that is coming through here has his own history. I cannot even call him him because the being is an actual planet, an actual civilization talking to us as one person. The name of the being is Ra. And Ra is not just one solitary individual or alien, if you might call it. He talks about his civilization where he comes from, which is Venus, actually, where the society evolved to a point that they all merged into one being. Probably millions and billions of souls fusing together in perfect harmony and unity. That is what Ra is. It is not even a solitary part, a fraction of the universe, but a planetary level consciousness that is talking to us, guiding us, telling us what is truly going on in the extraterrestrial phenomenon and in our true history, what has truly transpired. He not only talks about our history, where we come from, where humans come from, he talks about where we are going as well. Our evolution, our path forward. We have been taught to believe that life came from small single cell microorganisms, slowly evolved into multiple cells, different forms of sexual reproduction, transforming into plants, minerals, finally animals. We are moving from amphibians to reptiles to mammals, and now to conscious human beings. But Ra says, wait, there's more. There is truly more to what we are becoming. There is truly more to what we can become. Ra talks about our potential as not only biological beings, but beings of pure energy, beings of pure light, beings of pure spirit. He talks about dimensions which are so infallible and so ineffable to talk about, even put into words, is impossible. Oftentimes, Ra humorously has a sorry lack of words to describe even concepts that we cannot even imagine. There are words that do not even exist in our grammar. There are not even concepts that exist in our grammar that Ra talks about. This book has to be read to be taken seriously, or even if entertained, even if to be thought as a passing joke, as science fiction. It is a must try because the concepts that Ra is talking about are not so different than the concepts that we have been talking about as humans. From culture to culture, especially our Sanatan Dharma, Buddhism, Jainism, Christianity, all the Abrahamic religions, there are pieces, fragments of truth found in Ra's sayings. From the power of Christ consciousness to the unity of Brahman and the seven chakras in our Sanatan Dharma, Ra is truly a multi-dimensional point of view. Even if you go by this book as a unique point of view of any individual, there will be something in you, there will be something within you that will resonate to what Ra is talking about, what Ra is pointing towards. He came earlier during the Egyptian times. The history of Ra, as told by himself, says that he came before on earth, interacted with humans in physical form, as proper Venusians, as proper extraterrestrials from the planet Venus, to talk about the law of one, to preach the law of one. Imagine what yogis do, what preachers do, going from one place to the other, talking about God, talking about the oneness of all reality, talking about love. Ra could be considered a yogi, going from planet to planet, teaching us, guiding sensitive civilizations like us who are ripe for evolution. He states in this book that he came to the Egyptian civilization before the pyramids were made and tried to talk about the law of one to the ancient Egyptians. And not only that, he constructed pyramids. Yes, I'm talking about the main pyramids of Giza. He says, he claims to be the one who erected them as powerhouses, healing centers. And he talks about how he made them through sound, how every block in that pyramid is alive. And through sound, those blocks were arranged into the pyramids we see today. And even though he came to talk about the law of one 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years ago, he wasn't able to get the message across. He talks to us about the guilt he felt, about his information being distorted by us humans over the course of thousands of years. The concept of oneness slowly devolving into worship of multiple infinite gods instead of the unity of all creation, instead of the unity of nature herself, the unity of the cosmos and the stars above. And because of this guilt, he felt he was compelled to come back. And through the 19-year tapasya of these three physicists, scientists in the USA, Ra was able to speak through. I consider this one of the most religious books ever written. And not only one of the most religious books, but one of the most non-distorted forms of information purely being given to us by a teacher. Humanity being lost in the dark, not knowing who we are, suffering through all this trauma, all this baggage of our civilization. When a shining light falls on us, we cannot help but go towards it, like a moth to a flame. And Ra is that flame. This book, The Law of One, is that flame. And if the moth within you truly wants to know what is truly going on in our world, in the reality that we currently inhabit, this book is a must read for all spiritual seekers. This book is a must read for all existentialists. This book is worth entertaining to even the people who love sci-fi, even if you believe it as fiction, and you consider it that this might be even in the slightest true. That is where things will truly shift, as it did for me personally. Ra is the cyclone that has led to this moment right now, to me talking to you. And I am ever so humbled, ever so grateful to the Guru, that is Ra, and the message of the law of one.